another Bitcast. I'm here again with Zach. What's going on, Zach?
What's up, baby lips? How you doing?
Pause. Doing good, man. Doing good. I gotta say, I'm surprised, man. I
Mm.
actually, it's like opposite day. I actually got to finish a movie before you.
Yeah, I know, right? I wasn't expecting today for work to be what it is, but I had to push some last minute deals and stuff so I get paid for the quarter on it. Even though I'm way over my goal, but it's besides the point. I will definitely finish Rebel Moon. I'm looking forward to
Let me
talking
ask
about it with
you.
you. But what are your initial thoughts on it?
So I did finish it,
Mm.
surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, the kid took a nap for like over 2 hours today. I was like, oh, right. Let's
Nice.
finish Rebel Moon. Um, so how far are you in it?
I just, dude, like negligible. I'm just going to watch the whole thing in one sitting.
Gotcha. Um, so not to give any spoilers away. I know you don't care, but not to give
No,
any.
no, it's fine. Don't tell me anything. I just, what do you
Just
think?
to
Is
be
it worth
clear,
watching?
I am a Zack Snyder fan.
Oh
He's
God, here we
been
go.
very influential in how I my directing style and everything like that. That being
But
said, that being said, I think I said it before on this podcast before, but the thing about Zack Snyder is he is a visual like genius. Like he knows where to put the camera, he knows the frame rate to put it at. His shots always look like they come straight out of a comic book. Like every frame is great. Um, I never. I've always said he's not the strongest writer. You know,
did he
I feel
write
like if you,
this?
yeah, I feel like if you give him, probably co-wrote it again with his writing partner. Yeah, he co-wrote it. But I feel like if you give like a good team of writers, a Zack Snyder project, it will come out better. Um, so I've seen Rebel Moon, and I even saw the trailer for Part Two after the movie.
Mhm.
I will say it looks it looks it was entertaining. It was pretty entertaining. Had some action in there. Had some good stuff. I don't know if you're feeling this. I don't know how far you are in it, but it's a disjointed movie. It
I
felt
just
like
need. I just care if it's entertaining or not. I don't care about
oh, it's
anything
entertaining.
else.
Yeah, you don't care. it's an
Don't break it
entertaining
down for
movie.
me. If it's fun to watch, then okay. At this point, sci-fi. I don't care if it's all this other crap. Like we've seen so many disappointments in terms of this type of genre. Like as long as it's enjoyable to watch, where if you saw it in movie theater and it was worth the $30 for you to go, that's enough for me.
Yeah, man, it's it's entertaining. If you want to see some nice action, some cool action shots, definitely check it out. At the end of the day, when you're watching a Zack Snyder movie, that's what you're going for, right? You're not going in there to
I'm not
for like an Aaron
expecting.
Sorkin script with all this witty dialogue and pulling
I'm not
quotes
expecting
from.
anything else. I just want to,
Yeah,
I'm expecting just a good old fashioned. Hey, is this movie good or not? And if it is, great. If not, then
it's cool, man, and
good.
like in Zack Snyder fashion, everybody's jacked to the nines. Look like they straight out of 300. But
Love it. What? Not for me. That's for sure. Not anymore.
it's
Is the acting okay or is it bad or?
it's okay. I feel like the dialogue's not good enough for the actors. I'm trying to be nice, but like
Also, the
he has
writing
some
was
great
crap.
actors in there. Great actors. The writing is it's there. It
Do you
exists.
think the second one can redeem it?
Possibly, possibly.
Okay.
So this movie, you're a big Mass Effect fan like me.
Mm,
This movie is like playing Mass Effect 2, getting
mm-hmm,
all those people together for
mm-hmm.
a big fight without the the introspective conversations that you have with these characters. So there's no character building whatsoever. That's what it feels like to me. And you're
Okay.
supposed to feel for at least one character. That's Sophia Butella's character, Cora. Um, uh, I mean, you kind of do, you know. I feel like every time you felt like you were going to go deep into a character, it pulls you back into like, oh, this is cool. Watch this. I just wanted it to flesh her out a little bit more. Let her cook a little bit. The fight scenes are dope as usual. This is a Zack Snyder movie.
Hmm.
Everything I thought that was dope, it was kind of there then gone, and I wanted them to flesh out those cool characters and that like there's you don't really know what's going on with these characters besides the fact that they all look badass and they look like they can take down a whole battalion of space Nazis. Because let's be clear, you watched you probably watched enough of this movie to know. You know how in Star Wars it was like, oh, this is like an allegory for the Nazis. In this movie, it's like, oh, these are just Nazis in space, man. They're like full on, like Third Reich mofos out there. Like they got this uniform and everything, and
The slick looking
they're
uniform and the haircuts.
yeah, they're ready to f stuff up, and it's like, oh, okay, there's no sugarcoating it. These are bad dudes. Like there might be one good guy out of the lot of them. Everybody else is just a bad dude, bro.
But isn't that a good thing? You know what I've noticed with sci-fi movies or movies in general? They don't really draw real distinctions between good and bad, and there's always gray area, and sometimes that's not fun. Because how are you supposed to really enjoy the heroes if you're like, oh well, you know.
Well, someone said it online. I forgot who. I think it was Chris Gore online who said this is like a '80s movie. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay with that. Because at the end of the day, you and I have talked about that. Like so many action movies that are iconic to us have come out of the 80s and the early
Yes.
90s. Like because they're just like, yo, this is the bad guy, this is the good guy. Stuff is getting blown up. It's a wrap. Like everybody's getting it, getting these bullets, man, getting these fists,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the main guys is just Jack dude with his gun and blah, 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 blah. And that's what it feels like with this, man. I honestly, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, yo, I feel like Queen should do the soundtrack for this, man. Like, or Van Halen or Black Sabbath or something, man. Like, I felt like it was um, a generic soundtrack for this movie when they could have just went full on like dun 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 dun, like just going full on 80s Metallica type John, man. But yeah, man, like it feels like a movie from the past with a lot of ideas from other things. I feel like Zack Snyder put a bunch of dead ideas that he had in a box and put it all into this movie for like quick moments of stuff to happen. So I won't give anything away, but I feel like the biggest issue with this movie is that it's setting up the next one instead of being a cohesive story for the first one. Like I've said it a
It's a
thousand
trap
times,
that all movies do now.
all Hollywood, right? And I've said this a thousand times on this podcast. Why set the table for tomorrow when you're eating for today? So I get you're trying to build a whole universe. Just tell one cohesive story in that universe to make us want more. Don't don't use a whole 2 hour and 15-minute movie to set up another movie. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's why
that's
it
my
should have
only
been three
issue
and a
with it.
half hours.
Well, he said there's a director's cut. You know all these directors now. Yo, there's another cut. I'm kind of getting
Do you
tired of
think the director's
director's
cut
cuts.
is probably good though?
Probably,
Because
probably.
he's always done that. Like there's like some obvious holes in all of his movies, right? And you're like, why'd you cut that?
Yeah.
I feel like he needs to get a new editing team because every time there's edits, it's like you're cutting off like really important pieces of the story.
Well, Netflix clearly wanted a family friendly version to put out. A family cookie cutter version. You know what I'm saying? They got action figures for this. I heard that are in Walmart. So they wanted a PG-13. Because, that was funny. When we heard about this movie, we was like, yo, this is a rated R Star Wars movie. But it didn't feel that way when I was watching it, and it never felt that way. So maybe his cut is more raw, more gritty, more of like 80s Zack Snyder
Probably got some
esque.
probably got some sex in there, all that good stuff.
Probably, man. I mean, we saw the beginning what almost happened, but you know, uh, at the end of the day, I knew because I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I knew what I was getting, so I'm not really disappointed. Like, there's people online, like you heard it when you logged in. Like, people are like, "Yo, this is the worst thing I ever seen in my life." I'm like, "Have you never seen a Zack Snyder movie? Like, the story is not really there, but it always delivers visually. Like, honestly, I do think Army of the Dead is better than this. Like, I like Army of the Dead better, but I knew what I was coming in for.
Are you talking about the
And
Dave Bautista movie
yeah,
about Las Vegas? That was
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, I
All
like
the
that one better.
casinos weren't real though. That was kind of weird, but I knew it's because of licensing, but still, like,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about not real, I mean, this Rebel Moon is nothing but green screen. It's like watching the Star Wars prequels, man. It's everything's fake in this world. I'm like, damn, we couldn't get one real
could they
location.
have done more with
I mean, this is 2023, and everything has been fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's
mm-hmm,
been the volume, everything's been green screen to the point that audiences are numb to it, and
mm-hmm.
they're like, "Oh, look, another Unreal background. Oh yeah, another video game background. Yeah, yeah." Whereas like The Creator, a movie we talked about that was done for $80 million, everything
Mm-hmm.
was shot on location in Taiwan, I think it was. So like it felt more real. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, that's the thing about the uncanny valley. The human eye has evolved to where it can just pick things out, and be like, "Yo, that's fake." They said it evolved from that because when we were hunter gatherers, we had to know like what's fake and what that is and pick that out. So it's like, we come to it now and we're like, "Oh, we know that's CGI," or even if you don't know it's CGI, you know something's off about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was just a little too much screen. And then Zack Snyder has this thing where the color editing, like the color grading of all his movies, have this kind of odd look to it. And I get it, that's his style, but I don't know. I do think some people are going to be like, "Oh, it went well." But at the end of the day, Zack Snyder has always had like strong female fighters in his movies, and he usually picks like very visually striking, good-looking women, and he's like, "Yo, let's make an action star out of you." He usually does that in all his movies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hear too much of that. I hear a little bit of it, but yeah. I mean, I got I got exactly what I thought I would get out of Rebel Moon. You know, I'm just like, it's just like Venom. I make fun of my
That's a
friend for thinking
long-winded
Venom.
review to say that, yeah, you should see it.
Well, you should see it if you like Zack Snyder's kind of movies.
Yeah,
Or
of
if you want to
course.
watch something
Yeah,
to
I
where
just
you could
want
just
something
turn your
different
brain
and it's
off.
interchangeable. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, turn your brain. It's like when I'm in the car, I don't always want to listen to like bangers or whatever. Sometimes I just want to put on just dumb music and just bang my head out to, on my way back from the gym or something. Like,
How do you
so
feel
yeah.
about how do you feel? Well, we're going to go into a different little topic, but how do you feel about Jason Momoa being in God of War show?
He is?
Mm-hmm.
Really? We're talking about the show that Amazon is going to be on Amazon, produced by Sony, right?
Yeah,
What is he playing?
he's playing Kratos.
Stop. Stop, bro. For real?
Mm-hmm.
Hold up, man. I gotta see this. Get out of here. For real? That's
Yeah,
not a bad pick.
I mean, who else would do
Honestly.
it? That's the thing.
That's not a bad pick. He has the size, right? Kratos a tall dude.
He's
He has the
built
muscle mass, you know.
and he has the voice
He does have the voice, and he has the strike. Well, we just talked
and
about
the
the
look.
striking presence.
He has the exotic look to him.
Exactly, where he's racially ambiguous. That's all
Exactly.
the rage,
He
and
could be some random Greek god if he wants, and that's exactly what he's going to be.
That's interesting, man. Well,
It comes
I
out next
did
year, I
not see
think.
that coming, huh?
It comes out next year, I think.
You know that the second voice of Kratos, Christopher Judge, who's the current voice, wanted to play him, right? And he kind of has the build, man. He has the build and everything. You know, what do you think of that, though?
That would have been fine. The thing is, I mean, you need to have the look, dude. That's the thing. If you can't have the look, then don't bother.
Hmm. I mean, he has the look. Like Christopher Judge has always been a big, stocky dude.
Yeah,
You
but we're
know,
talking ripped.
he can get
That's a
ripped.
different. That's a different. Yeah, dude. But that's how. I mean, if you don't have that kind of body, right? You know how long
Mhm.
it takes for you to get to that point. That's like 8 months of just hard work.
That's like a year. Yeah, his age. Like Hugh Jackman, it took him a year to get ready for
Chris
Logan.
Pratt took him a long time too. Well,
Well, Chris Pratt was kind of. It took him like 6 to 8 months for Guardians, right?
but he was fat. Well, he's
Yeah, he
back
was.
to being fat again, but you know what I mean.
Well, he's fully into voice acting now. Like that's his thing. He's even
Yeah,
Garfield now. I'm like he's gonna be every single like like childhood cartoon character
helps that his
now.
father-in-law is Arnold.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I wonder how that plays out though if they talk at all. I don't hear
Why
too
you
much.
say that?
I feel like Arnold's I hear certain I mean, I watch like clips of interviews with Arnold. He seems like a very down to earth kind of guy. And Chris doesn't. Like, no offense to Chris, he's just. I mean, this is the same guy who said, "Why don't they make movies about guys like me? You know, regular guys like me." It's like, bro, you're not a regular guy. I mean,
I think
you're a
Chris Pratt's
guardian of the
pretty down to
galaxy.
earth in terms of. I don't think Hollywood accepts him on a lot of different things because of his, you know,
I
personal
think
views on
he.
stuff. So
I think the
it's
problem with Chris Pratt is his wording. He just needs to find a. He just needs to think 5 seconds before he blurts out something because people just be like, "Oh, guess what he said." I'm like, I see what he was trying to say, but he
right,
didn't say it the right way.
right.
So all I'm seeing about Momoa is that he's saying he would love to play it, not that he was cast.
Hmm.
But that's not a bad pick. Now, let me ask you this: do you think Momoa would really cut his hair? Because
Yes.
the thing about Jason Momoa, ever since Game of Thrones, he's been playing himself in everything that he's cast. Like, let's be for the most part. I mean, except for C. I haven't watched that show on Apple, but it looks like he's playing a different kind of guy in that show. But he's been
Yeah.
playing
No. Why
himself in a
wouldn't
lot
you?
of stuff.
He could be like his. You know, this is him. You
And this is
know,
a
I
show
don't
we're
know.
talking about too. This is not
A
a
movie. Oh
movie
yeah.
where you know this set amount of months you're going to be bald. You're going to have to cut your hair. This is a show. There could be a second season, a third season. You know what I'm saying?
I guess they could
So,
CGI his head.
nah. That would be so much work, bro. I mean, I guess they could put it in a man bun up top and then just CGI his bald
Well,
head,
they
but that
did
would
it
just
with
be
Ray
so.
Fiennes as Voldemort with his face.
That's different, though, man. We're talking about they're gonna have to digitally reconstruct his head from the ground up. That's what they had to do with Cavill to remove
Mustache.
his mustache. They had to reconstruct his whole face from like the nose down. Like ah nah, man. I don't know. I don't know if I mean he said he would do it. He's been very busy lately, but he said he would take it on. I mean, how old is this? Oh, this is 2017. Okay, never mind.
Bro.
It said because I'm looking at this article and it says he would love to play it, but he's currently busy working on a reboot of The Crow. I'm like, no, Stellan Skarsgård is going to be The Crow. What are you talking about? And then it was like, oh, this article was back in 2017 when he was attached to be in The Crow. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know who. I mean, for years people have said The Rock could do it. I mean, I think that's too obvious of a choice. And right now, he's. It seems like The Rock is getting kind of like either he's taking a step back from stuff, or he's getting blacklisted in Hollywood after that whole Black Adam debacle.
Yep.
So he used to be the sequel king, right? He used to be the franchise king. Like you put The Rock in something and it's gonna blow up in their sequel. But now he's just like he's been real quiet after the Black Adam thing. Trying to take over
Isn't
DC.
it
And
crazy that you the fall from grace for that?
yeah, man.
Goes
I
to show he
mean,
bit off more he can chew, dude. Like he was the guy for so long, made a lot of money, and now like people
yeah,
just don't want to deal with him.
yeah, man. I think that's what happens when you try to um take over from a position that you don't really know what you're doing. Like if you watch Black Adam, which unfortunately I did, um, it's it's very much like this is from the mind of The Rock. I know there was a different director and writers, but it seemed like The Rock was like, "This needs to happen. This needs to happen." You know, and it just didn't work. It felt like a movie that was just too late, old, and not really put together well. It did have some great moments, like uh, I'm
There was
blanking
like
right.
no
Pierce Brosnan.
superpowered. There was like no superpowered guys in that movie that could even challenge him. I felt like every fight he was doing, he was going to win. That's not fun.
I mean, come on, man. It's like in his contract, bro. Like you can't beat The Rock. I mean, do you remember that story about the first Fast
Yes,
and Furious sequel
Vin
where
Diesel.
he?
Yeah, there's only so many people. Yeah, each equal amount of punches, and they have to make it seem
Yes,
like that. Even though he loses, it's not like noticeable.
yes. Both of them had their managers or whatever, their handlers on set counting punches, so it would be equal. Like, come on, like we're the ego, bro. Like, come on, man.
But it's Vin Diesel's
But
franchise. He had, you can't take that from him.
yeah, and it felt like a bad Dragon Ball Z episode, because Black Adam in the whole movie, he's so big and muscular that
He can
it's almost
barely
like he
walk.
couldn't move, and he was
Yeah.
just like beating people like that or hitting them like that, one hit, and it's like, bro, this is corny. Like this would be cool if I was like 10 years old, like I was watching Dragon Ball Z. Like, oh yeah, he's so powerful, he doesn't have to move when he fights. Like, nah, man. Like, it's corny. And then they had the kid with the cape, like, Black Adam. I was like, come on, bro.
Did you see Freddie Prince
Oh man.
Jr.'s rant a few weeks ago about Star Wars?
I've seen him rant about Star Wars before. I don't know. I haven't seen a recent rant with him.
He was talking about how like it's for kids and stuff, and people who are adults and like the original like fans and stuff need to cool it, with
Well,
expectations and everything.
that might be the same rant I saw. And if it is, it's an old rant where this dude was breaking down Star Wars theory and lore, and I'm like, dang, he knows what he's talking about. And then at the end of the rant, he's like, yo, man, I've talked this over with Dave Filoni and da da da, like, and George Lucas, like. The dude has met both of those guys. It's like he's like, I know what I'm talking about. You guys don't and stuff. And I was like, yeah, he clearly does know what he's talking about. Like he broke down some stuff and debunked stuff. I'm like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Like, yeah, yeah. Freddie
so
Prinze
so
Jr. is
he's
that
he's a
dude.
fan. Yeah, he's a
Oh
fan.
yeah, yeah. Him, Sam Witwer, like Dave Filoni, like they're
I
fans.
really
They
want
know the
him
stuff
to.
in
I
out.
want him to reprise his character
Yeah, I
as
want him to
Karen
come
in the
back in
show
some capacity, even if it's
because
not his character. Come back.
well, even if it's his character, because he could be older. Like it's not like
Force Ghost.
you know. Yeah, who cares?
Force Ghost. Why not?
Yeah,
Why the hell not? And he has since he's a Force Ghost, he'll have his eyes.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like Kanan Jarrett, bro. Like um he was so in tune with the Force. There's no reason why he shouldn't be a Force Ghost.
It's not like he's that much older than the character when he died anyway. So it's not like
Nah,
they have to do a lot.
nah, nah. But Freddie Prinze Jr. he's kind of stepped back from Hollywood. He's gone the full voiceover guy, and he's made his
How many
bones in
guys
that.
could escape that black hole unscathed?
Well, it was a choice, right? And
Yeah,
a
no,
lot of
that's what I'm saying. Like, how many guys do it and they're unscathed from it? You
oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, there
yeah,
was no controversy, nothing
yeah,
following
yeah,
him. You know, it was on his terms.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Him and his wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar, they they were like, you know what? Because they were two of the hottest stars in the '90s, bro. Like you couldn't touch them, man. They was the it guy and the it girl and everything, and then they
Yeah,
just
early 2000s
disappeared.
and 90s. Yeah, I know.
They got married and just disappeared, and they you would only hear about them through voice acting, and then you learn more about Hollywood. You're like, okay, I'm glad they got out. you know, I'm
Because they're
glad they
not
found
into.
happiness together and was
Yeah,
like,
they're not into that weird like sex cult stuff. Yeah,
nah, nah, man. Nah.
wearing
I mean,
goat
it's not
heads.
everybody in
Yeah,
Hollywood, but it's enough.
it's
Especially,
enough.
especially back then in the '80s and '90s, there was some stuff going
The
on because there
decision
wasn't this.
makers were the ones doing the weird stuff.
Yeah, and like you didn't. There was like legit gatekeepers back then because now a kid with a laptop or a cell phone can become famous. You don't need the studios as much as you needed them back then. Back then, the music industry and the movie industry was like, so I'm glad they got out and they're still making money, man. They're still doing voices and stuff. Both of them was in the last He-Man. Well, I know his wife was. I think he was too. But yeah, man, like they're doing good stuff, man. But yeah, he needs to come back, bro. He needs to come back. There's no reason he's unless he says no, then there's no reason for him not to come back. Except for the fact that the shows and the movies have been trash lately, but he needs to come back. Maybe he's just tired of the. I mean, he was a voice in a show, maybe, and he got backlash. Like maybe he's just like, yo, these fans are just out of their minds, and I'd be stupid to be in a live action show when I got all that him and Han from voicing a character. So
That's true. No, no,
I mean, think about it, because I'm a nerd. I don't know if you consider yourself a nerd. Like we, my nerd community, like we started out as like the pariahs of society, and now for the most part the loudest ones are like now we're like the bullies of society, man. Like, oh, you want to change this thing in Star Wars lore? Yo, I'm gonna send you death threats, like, oh, you want your Sith to have braids? Death threats, like, oh, there's real stuff happening in the world right now. But yo, a stormtrooper who's Asian, death threats, like, come on, bro. Like, what? I remember the first Transformers movie came out in 2007. I remember watching the behind the scenes and Michael Bay saying he got death threats because he changed Bumblebee from a bug to a muscle car. I forgot which one.
Camaro.
A Chevy Camaro. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you got death threats for that? Could you imagine if he was still a bug? I mean, yeah, they did it later on in the Haley Steinfeld movie, but that was a different kind of movie. And Michael Bay, he's like
Haley
all
Steinfeld
action and
was in a
stuff.
movie.
Haley, you didn't see the Bumblebee movie?
No.
It's better than the story wise. It's better than the Michael Bay
Is
stuff,
it because
but the
Haley
action is
Steinfeld's in
not as
there?
good as
Is
the
that
Michael.
why it's good?
Nah, nah,
No.
nah,
Oh.
nah. Remember, I still remember when because the last Transformers movie that came out with the Beasts, that's a sequel to the Bumblebee movie with Haley Steinfeld. Um, I remember a couple months ago when I saw that in theaters, and you was like, "Well, how was it?" And I was like, "We said it on this podcast." I was like, "Well, I know it's not a good movie, but I enjoyed it anyway." You just started laughing.
You
I was
know, if
like,
Haley Steinfeld's in it, I'll watch it. I like her stuff.
"She's
Well, I
not in the
love her
sequel.
stuff. Oh,
She's
never
not
mind.
in the sequel," which I felt like was a travesty. I'm like, I know it's
She's
like
great.
a decade
I
after that
we
one,
need to
but
do we need to make some kind of like coalition. You know how like when Twilight was out, you had Team Edward and Team
mm-hmm,
what's his name, Jacob,
mm-hmm.
and girls choose men. It's either Haley Steinfeld or Taylor Swift.
Haley, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Stop. Come
Why
on, man.
not?
I mean,
She doesn't get any of the recognition at all in any kind of way that she does, that
maybe
Taylor
this will
does.
go back to. I feel like if any movie would be able to do that, it would be a Zack Snyder movie. Because he always has like badass females in his movies, and you could have
Yes.
one female with a team of fighters, and then another female leader with a team of fighters, and then it'd be like end the movie.
But I
It's like, yo,
but
which
now
team
you
are
can
you
like
on?
compare them and everything. They both date NFL players.
Oh, she
Taylor's the
does.
only one that's talked about. Yeah, she dates Josh Allen, the quarterback for the
Oh,
Buffalo
word.
Bills.
Yo,
Yeah.
Josh Allen's a beast, man.
Well, what
Beast.
it takes to date Haley Steinfeld is a 6'5", 245-pound quarterback for the Bills and makes $45 million a year.
Do we even know what's going on with her character in the MCU?
No,
No, we don't know what's going on in the MCU
we don't know
because
what's going
it's
on in
in
her
shambles.
period. You know what? Maybe they should just blow it up and start over. It's the multiverse after all.
We said that 1,000 times, but they will never do it. They will never do it. They're too afraid. Chicken shits. But I mean, yeah, man. I mean, so the holidays are coming up.
Are they? I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, they're coming up.
You know,
Any
they've
movies on
been
you?
around, because Hanukkah was last week.
Oh, word, L'chaim. Word, man. Um, any good Hanukkah movies you recommend?
Mm. I mean, I feel like how many Adam Sandler movies does he talk about that?
I know
Tell
of
me I'm wrong.
one, Eight Crazy Nights.
Yeah, tell me I'm
I've
wrong though.
watched that movie 1,000 times. It's so funny.
Apparently there's something going around the internet that it's a Christmas movie.
No, it's a Hanukkah movie. It's
I know it's a
literally called
Hanukkah
Eight
movie
Crazy
called Eight
Nights.
Crazy Nights. Yes, I know.
But no,
I was
you're
like,
not
are these
lying. I
people?
mean, when that movie came out, people told me it was a Christmas movie,
It's
and
like
then I
no.
watched it, and I was like,
He's Jewish, right? He doesn't do Christmas. All right.
this is not a Christmas movie. There's no tree or nothing. This is a Hanukkah movie. People are dumb. Because what you're saying is not a lie. But
Speaking of, for Adam Sandler, I'm just curious. He was away from Hollywood for a little bit, and then he kind of
mhm.
like came back. What do you think? Why? He's
That's the
got more
thing.
money than he can spend.
That's what he does, though, right? He takes a break, comes back, does like a bundle of movies, like 3 or 4 movies, takes a break, comes back, does like 3 or 4 movies, takes a break, come back.
Because he's got a
You know,
contract with Netflix, so a lot of it's through
yeah,
Netflix now. And they're making a lot of money from his stuff. Like, it's not like he
yeah.
doesn't continue to make good stuff.
He makes good movies, and he has great range. He can do comedy and drama, and I think
Well,
like
that's
comedians
been
make the
showed. Yeah, I mean, he's been.
like
Then he wasn't he nominated for Uncut Gems?
yeah.
That was a
Yeah, see,
good movie.
comedians make some of the best actors, man. Like it's something about the way comedians see the world that they can just pull something out of themselves and just give you these crazy performances. I mean, some comedians don't. They just play the same character over and over again.
Like Will Ferrell.
But no, Will Ferrell can do dramatic. He could do dramatic. He could do funny. Like, he could do a lot of things.
He hasn't done a lot of drama. That's the thing. He hasn't done a
Yeah,
lot.
he hasn't. He hasn't, but I think he does that because Will Ferrell is so much, from what I hear, so different from the characters he plays on screen. Like he's so shy and quiet as opposed to on screen. He's so loud and just weird and funny and all over the place. So that might be the reason. That's kind of like it's kind of therapeutic to do that. Play a
Do you
character
think
opposite
Mark
of who you are.
Wahlberg's part of comedy?
Yeah, yeah, I think he is.
He's got a wide range too.
Yeah, he does, man. He has a cool thing where he can play the straight man, but still be funny as a straight man. he he could just go off the
Like in the other
walls.
guys.
One of my favorite Mark Wahlberg performances is the other guys. He just
He's
goes
just
out the
so.
rooms, comes back. He's like, you know what? I was going to talk about you, but my father told me not to talk about people behind their back, so I'm going to do it in your face.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah, man.
if you don't
I
move right
watched that
now, I'm gonna
recently
shoot you
again.
in the face. And it's
Oh
like, you
yeah,
wouldn't do that. It's like I shot Jeter. It's like you said it was an accident. Was it?
was it? Then when he's playing Little River Band in the car,
Oh yeah. He's like, I
he's like,
feel
I
like
feel
I'm
like I'm shopping
shopping
for a training
for a
bra.
training bra. Yeah.
Oh my
No, but
gosh,
no, you're
man.
right because but he didn't go into comedy, right? Like obviously he started music and then he kind of did his own thing, but
Mhm.
he kind of morphed into. I think what really started it was The Departed for him. When he did The Departed, it was like, okay, this guy can act. And
Yeah,
then he did The Fighter, which he got all his acclaim and
I
his
love the
Oscar
fighter.
stuff from. That was a great movie. And Christian
Yeah.
Bale played his normal lunatic self without being a outwardly crazy person. He's just
Right.
always in character. You know what I mean?
I feel like playing the Batman in the Dark Knight trilogy was like the most normal role he's ever
He's
done.
ever played, which is crazy.
My
A
most
billionaire
normal
guy.
role was Bruce Wayne. I was Bruce Wayne for 3 movies. That's probably the most even keel role I ever had.
Can you imagine?
You know. He played Dick Cheney, bro. Like,
I did. Well,
that's wild, bro. He was
when
Cheney.
he was what was the movie with where he was the the Hustler, American
The
Hustler.
Hustler, yes.
That was a good movie
Yes.
too. Dude, he was
Yes.
out of control in that too.
Yeah. What's his name? David E. Russell, is that his name? David O. Russell.
I know who you're talking
Um
about. Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
he works with Christian Bale a lot, man. He's a great director. Yeah. I like a lot of his stuff. Oh,
Do you
whatever.
think?
Hmm. I
Do
think I
you
got that wrong.
see Christian Bale ever making the leap to like rom coms and holiday movies like in Hallmark Channel and stuff?
No. No. That's his thing, man. He needs a role where he can morph his body and morph
You know that's going
his
to kill him.
being. Yeah.
You know that, right?
It's
There's only
either
so
gonna
many
kill
different
him.
times he could do that.
It's either gonna kill him or it's gonna make his brain explode and he's just gonna go off the rails and do wild, crazy stuff, man.
Like Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson actually calmed down over the years. Like I
It's
feel like he
true.
stopped drinking and he's like, you know what? I used to be a problem. You know,
Wait,
it's crazy when you stop drinking, your brain gets clearer.
yeah.
Like I feel like he kicked.
especially
He hasn't
especially
talked
the
about it.
stuff
I
he would
don't
say.
think.
Especially the stuff
Yeah,
he would say. We went over
yeah,
like
man.
in a call like the stuff he would say. I'm like, yo, I didn't know he said that.
Yeah.
I
I
was
feel
like,
like
man, I don't. I was
he
trying
didn't
to
say it
defend him.
publicly,
Like, I don't
but
know if he's like really anti-Semitic, but some of the stuff he's saying, like, I don't know, like that's pretty
was
bad.
wild, bro. Wild, bro.
He was a guy too, dude. Tell me he wasn't. He was like in everything,
Yeah, he was the guy. He was so good. He played like the quintessential American and everything, even though
like Nick
he's like
Cage.
Australian. Yeah, yeah. Nick Cage too, man. But Mel Gibson was like there was a time where he was like the model of a manly American man, even though he's
Even though he was
Australian.
Australian, yeah,
Like
I
he
know,
played the Patriot, ladies
I
and
know.
gentlemen. A movie I actually love to this day. Even what's his name? Oh, I'm blanking on it, but the guy who played his son, Heath
Heath
Ledger.
Ledger.
He's Australian too. They
You know
all
my
played
favorite part?
Americans.
Oscar Isaac as the bad guy. Phenomenal.
You mean Isaac?
No, yeah,
Jason
Isaac.
Isaacs.
Jason Isaacs, you know, Oscar
Jason
Isaac.
Isaac.
Jason
Yeah.
Isaac, yeah. But he
Jason
is
Isaacs
British,
is
so it
the
works.
man. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Jason Isaac is the man, dog. He could play anything. But yeah, like we had a bunch of Australians showing us how to be Americans. The Patriots. A
I think
movie
we
I
need
would
to do that
still
again. There's no
love it.
patriotism anymore. We need to have
We,
some
yes,
movies come back and
right,
show like, hey, it's good to be, a man and all this
right.
other stuff,
I
right?
mean, to be honest, even though I like the direction they're going with the movie, I don't think the new Captain America movie is going to do that. I think it's just going to divide people more. But I like the direction that they're going. We need more patriotic movies, man. You know who should make that movie? Zack
Who?
Snyder, man.
No. Did you see the
It's
movie? Did you see the movie Fat Man?
no, but I know what you're talking about. When Mel Gibson played Santa Claus.
Yeah,
I did
that
not
was
see
good.
that.
Great,
Oh
great
really?
holiday movie.
Okay.
And there was another one too where Santa was like a mercenary and he was like a Viking ancestor and he killed people with a sledgehammer.
Violent Night. I watched it.
Yeah, that was pretty
Did you
good.
see it with David
Yeah,
Arbor?
yeah.
Yeah, man.
And
I
John
was like,
Leguizamo
okay,
is the main bad guy.
yes.
It's like what?
I love these holiday movies where if it's an action holiday movie, the bad guy is always bad because he didn't get a present that he wanted for Christmas when he was a kid.
Every single time. It could be
He's
the
like,
most serious thing in the world. It's like, yo, I didn't get this as a kid. I was like, yo, this thing scarred you.
it's like it's like they're a mercenary. He's like, I'm a mercenary. I've killed thousands of people to get to this point, to look you in the eye, Santa, and say, I wanted that race car when I was a kid. Like what? Like what? All that bloodshed because you didn't get a race car? Like what?
It's nuts,
I think
right?
this is a little backwards, man.
Yeah.
But I think like we need more movies like that. I like those Christmas movies where it's just like I don't care. The bad guy's bad because he didn't get that easy bake oven, and so he's just slaughtering people. So I
You mean
gotta
like
kill
Die
him.
Hard?
Yeah, man. Die Hard. There's still a debate to this day if Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It's an everyday movie, but it works great in Christmas.
It's so iconic that they re-released it in theaters, and I'm so mad I didn't have time to watch it again. But I will watch that in theaters,
Hans
no
Gruber,
problem.
dude, come on. Think of a more iconic villain.
R.I.P. Alan
Rickman.
Richter. Rick
Rickman.
Rickman. Yes.
Richter. Jeez, you messed up this man's name 3
I
times.
almost called him Alan Richardson. Alan
Richardson.
Richter.
Dude, he's not some white guy in the suburbs. He was an English actor. Better
No
ask
one
God
could play a
forgiveness.
no one could play a villain like Alan Rick.
Alan Rickman is one of a few
Nobody.
guys where, well, we went to Jason Isaacs, right? Same kind of thing. It's just something about him, man. It's like we can't see you as a good guy. Like you're forever. Like he's done other stuff where he played like the protagonist, and I'm like, this is weird.
A guy
I'm
who
waiting
could
for the
do
other shoe to
comedy
fall.
too. He did comedy too. Remember Galaxy Quest
Oh, dude,
with
Galaxy Quest.
Tim
Yeah,
Allen?
Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver. Mm-hmm.
Movie's hilarious, but yeah, man. I mean, he did the whole
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He played the bipolar robot.
yes, yes,
I know no one's
bipolar
caring what I'm
robot.
saying right now.
But he was Snape in Harry
Harry
Potter, where
Potter.
he was
Yeah.
the bad guy, but he was really
He
the
wasn't the bad
double
guy. He was
agent
the good guy undercover.
Yes, yes, and
Ugh.
he played it so well for what was considered like a kids movie, a YA franchise. You know,
Dude, he was the best part of that movie
I
franchise.
know,
Tell me,
I know.
it's not even close.
I mean, I have issues with his character, but it's not his problem. It was the writing. You know, it's like, oh, I love this woman despite the fact that I bullied her lover and I watched her from a distance and I vowed to protect her even though
Well,
she
you
was
know
banging this other
that's in the
guy.
books, right?
Yeah, I know. I
All
know.
right.
I'm
So,
not criticizing the writers. I'm criticizing the book. The one writer who wrote the book.
oh shit, my camera. Hold on. Well, I.
No problem. But yeah, I'm criticizing the book. You know.
Hey, I thought for a second there was like a military strike going off in like that one movie I just saw recently.
Jeez.
Oh, that
Jeez.
Obama movie. What was that movie? Leave Everything Behind.
Oh yeah, leave everything behind.
What do you,
Yeah, man.
uh,
Still haven't seen it.
you're not
I still
missing
gotta see
anything.
that in Killer.
Killers,
But
yes, you
yeah,
have
man.
to see.
Yeah,
You
man.
have to see
Yeah.
Killer.
Oh, is that good?
Oh, bro, Michael Fassbender was fantastic. All right.
That's a David
Yes, I know exactly what you're about to say.
yeah, movie.
Because we talked about his movies recently. He's the same one that did the District 13 or whatever, right? District 9, whatever the heck it's called. Was it him?
No. This is a David Fincher movie. You're thinking about
Oh, David Fichtner. Yeah, Fincher. Yeah. He
you're thinking of Neil Blomkamp, who did
yeah.
District 9. Oh yeah, Fincher's the man though. Can't nobody mess with Fincher. Sorry, he
All
just
right.
has this
So
way
I'm
how he
curious.
directs.
You already know my holiday movie.
Hmm.
What's yours?
So every year, my wife and I watch a whole crop of Christmas movies.
That sounds really
Um,
white and really dumb.
well, she's very into Christmas.
uh,
This is her thing. Like, and now we have a daughter who's 1, and she's going all out. She has all these like Christmas decorations and stuff. So we're watching the movies, and name a movie, I've probably watched it, unless it's like older. She doesn't like the older ones, so
why?
it's like she doesn't like old movies. I do, you know. I was just looking on Max the other day, and it has nothing but old school thriller,
Like It's a Wonderful Life type of thing?
1950s. Yes, 1950s movies, 40s, 60s. They got Singing in the Rain on there. I don't care who you are, what you are. If you've never seen Singing in the Rain, check it out. It's a gem. But yeah, man. I have a bunch of movies. Yo, my movie for the longest time, you're gonna laugh, was Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, directed by Ron Howard.
I
That
keep
was
forgetting
my
Ron
movie.
Howard directed that.
Yes, that movie was my movie. When did that movie come out? Like 2000, I think. And I love that movie. Like, I love it so much. The recent one that came out from Illumination, that animated one, not feeling it, bro. Not
Oh,
feeling it.
that
Did you
was
see it?
with Lin Manuel Miranda, right?
No, no.
Whatever his name is. Wasn't
Mm,
he in there?
mm.
Who played the? I thought he was in there. Who played that Grinch?
Oh, it was I can't think anymore. I got dad brain. Who played Doctor Strange? Bumber
Uh,
Bumber Snatch. Not Bumber Snatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumber.
Bumber Snatch. Are we? What?
I got dad brain, bro. I got dad
Pharrell
brain.
Williams was the narrator. Rashida Jones
Yes.
played Donna.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Bumber
Benedict
Catch.
Cumberbatch played the Grinch.
Yeah. Did you see
Why
it?
did I was I? No. Why am I?
I saw it because my wife.
Why did I think Lin Manuel Miranda was in it?
Because he's in every animated Disney movie. Like he does the music for every animated Disney movie now.
See, that's what I thought is because of that. I guarantee you.
No, but this was Illumination, not Disney. I'm not really an Illumination fan. You know, they do all they got famous
All
off
right.
of all the
To my defense, he was in
Despicable
DuckTales,
Me.
so you know.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody was in Ducktales.
Well, I'm talking about the new one. If you didn't know there was a new one,
No, no,
well,
I did
I wouldn't watch it.
not.
Anyway, Benedict
Me neither.
Cumberbatch. So you're saying I should watch it? Is what you're saying?
I mean, if you want, but I like the Jim Carrey one. Yeah, it came out in 2000.
Well, yeah, dude. Jim
So
Carrey's fantastic. I love that one.
yeah,
Jeffrey
that
Tambor was in it.
yes, yes,
Fantastic.
bro. It was a hilarious movie. I mean, he's killing it. But what would I wear? You know, I just love the movie, man. It's
He's
so
like
funny.
listing down his schedule. He was like
Oh yeah,
doing nothing, talking to myself. I can't miss that again.
yeah. 7 o'clock dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
It's like a mixture between Richard Nixon and Sean Connery.
Yeah,
His voice, isn't it? Tell me,
yeah. That's so true.
it's a hybrid. It's like it's like Richard Nixon with a Scottish accent. It's like so strange.
And he's speaking, and you can tell that he's limited by the fake teeth that they have, so you can
Yeah.
hear it like rattling in his mouth. I can't cancel that again. It's stupid, stupid, stupid. Like, you could hear the teeth in his mouth while he's talking. You know, he couldn't go full Jim Carrey, you know, but he made it work. He, even though that suit was torture, He came alive in that suit.
Suit was torture.
Oh yeah, you never heard about that behind the scenes? Like he almost
No.
quit the movie because it was just so bad. They had to bring in
How?
a like a marine to teach him like torture tactics to like because it was like torture wearing the suit.
Why was it so hot?
I think it was just a little bit of claustrophobia, and it was just so uncomfortable. Maybe the hairs were prickling inside of him or something. Like,
But it's just a suit. Who cares? Like at least you don't have to do makeup 10 hours a
no, he
day.
had to do makeup too for the face and everything. Put the prosthetics on and stuff. Then put on the suit. I mean, you hear about stuff like this. They usually take like 10 hours or something to put all this kind of stuff on, man. I mean, like
So
we just talked about Passion of Christ. That bodysuit took 10 hours to put on.
so you put that 10 hours. You can only work for like 5 or 6 hours after that. Like
Yeah. So you better make them count. And you got to think, Jim Carrey is just going off the cuff most of the time. He's just improvising, improvising,
was there any
improvising.
writing in there that was like credited at that point?
I don't think so. Back then, improvising wasn't really, they didn't really give people credit for stuff like that. Nowadays, they will. They'll be like, oh, he improvised so much. Let's give him a writer's credit. But back then, Jim Carrey was just doing his Jim Carrey
His
thing,
stuff,
man.
yeah. Strange that he didn't feel that way about the mask.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that like his first big break movie?
Yeah, it
The
was.
Mask,
It was
yeah.
before. It was before Ace Ventura, right?
Right,
Or
right.
was it the same time?
I think it was before.
Because Cameron Diaz was in the mask, right?
Because if you watch
Yeah.
The Mask, he's playing like a straight guy when he's not in the mask. He's not doing his Jim Carrey thing. It wasn't until after that with Ace Ventura, every movie he's in, he's just like the crazy zany guy, and then he starts
Like in
doing
Bruce
dramatic
Almighty,
stuff. Yeah.
when he goes on his deep end in Niagara Falls. Alluding.
Jim
I was like,
Carrey
what
was
is
the
he
man.
saying? I don't even know what he's saying.
Jim Carrey was the man for the longest time.
And then you
Oh my
can tell
gosh.
he kind of had a break too, like a just a mental like
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, because he was. You want to talk about like meta acting and method acting? That guy went full when he did the Andy Kaufman movie. It was like, bro, what the hell? It was so bad that they even made a movie about the movie they made, like about like what's going on with Jim Carrey. Is he Jim Carrey or Andy Kaufman?
It
I
was
don't know.
that bad. I didn't know that.
Oh, it actually only took 2 hours and 15 minutes to do the Grinch stuff, which is still long, but it's not as long as some of these other movies.
2 hours?
Makeup
That's
and
not
stuff.
that bad.
Yeah, Jim Caviezel had to do 10 hours. I thought I saw. I could be wrong, but I thought
Same with
they
Dave
said 10 hours.
Bautista when he was playing
Oh
Rex.
yeah, that stuff was so intricate, man. I don't blame him for be like, yo, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's crazy. Like I go crazy sitting in a chair for 2 hours. I can't do that. I'd have to be standing up. I'm like, yo, I'm playing a video game. Can't you just put this makeup on while I'm playing this or something? Like, nah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, that's my Christmas movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, man. I watched it so much that the last 2 years I had to take a break. This year, 2 nights ago, I watched it again. But
Did
every
you
year I would watch it.
so someone online made Elf and they did a cut for it as a M Night Shyamalan movie?
Oh my god. Why?
I'm like, I'm like, what? Elf's pretty
Why?
good, but I feel like people always say Elf for Christmas movies.
Yeah, my wife asked me the other day because we watched it, just because it was on, and she was like, "Why do people like this movie?" I was like, "I mean, it's a nice little fun, cute little
It's a good
movie."
movie. I like James
And
Caan's character, obviously.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She was like, "It's not that good. It's not as good as people say, though." I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's an acquired taste, And, I like the little callbacks to the Rankin and Bass
So
Christmas movies.
Are you done watching Christmas movies for the year then?
No, I got like two or three more,
What are you gonna
and then we're
watch?
done. She likes this animated movie called Arthur Christmas. I'm not
Arthur.
a fan. Um, James McAvoy does the voice of Arthur Christmas. Um, what's the other one? I can't remember the other one we have to watch. She was just
Watch Die
telling me
Hard.
the other. I would. I don't own it, but I could
That's why
rent
you
it.
need to get what I have.
You know what? She would like that. She likes old school type action movies. Like she loves every Mission Impossible. She loves the John Wick movies.
Mm-hmm.
She loves Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Let's
You
put it together.
combine them, you get Die
It's,
Hard.
it's John Wick and Christmas put together. Why not?
you get Die Hard.
Guy
That's all it is.
crawling in vents.
And
You
Die
know,
Hard was like,
there's a Rick and Morty episode about Peter Dinklage was the main voice. He was the bad guy who was the Hans Gruber. This whole episode's motif was Die Hard, and Summer had to do a Die Hard to overthrow a guy who's written 5 books about doing a Die Hard.
Jesus.
And he's
I think
like,
it's.
Peter Dinklage, first off, I love him, but still, it's absolutely hilarious, dude. That I'm like,
I,
dude, this motif.
I think it's funny that Peter Dinklage after Game of Thrones just made a career out of voicing or playing bad guys.
He's
Like
got a
he's the
powerful
villain.
voice.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He was the villain in the last Transformers movies, Rise of the Beast. He was the bad guy. But yeah, how do you feel? Because I'm watching these Christmas movies, right? And each Christmas movie has their own version of elves. Like the Santa Clauses with Tim Allen, they have kids playing elves
Yeah,
who are acting like they're adults. Um, the Santa Claus Chronicles, which are on Netflix, which are new movies. I like those movies actually, where Kurt Russell plays Santa Claus. They have CGI elves that look like creatures who are very small with elf ears and tails. Um, Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn, funny movie. They have little people slash little people CGI'd with uh, regular size actors' faces. They
yeah,
mix them together.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I wonder what they would do because like Peter Dinklage made a statement years ago after he got really big, talking about how he did not accept roles that were elves, dwarfs,
Good,
stuff like that.
good.
Um,
Why? Why would he? That's messed up.
but there was
He
some,
his accolades is good enough. He should be casted in a normal movie, not because the
but
character's short.
but there was an issue with that because little people felt that they lost roles after that because Hollywood stopped casting little people for roles such as that. They started using CGI. You saw it all the time. Like even with this new Willy Wonka movie, they got Hugh Grant playing a Oompa Loompa when you could have just hired little people. And there was just all this little people actors speaking out against stuff like this. And Peter Dinklage has been very quiet. He hasn't had like a follow up like
Yeah, but he's one of a few that can get casted for roles not because he's little, and not all of them have that luxury. But I mean, how do you feel like you would? It's like in Hangover, where it's an outrageous scene, and you hire someone just because they're like the smallest person on the planet, and you're making fun of the fact they're the smallest person on the planet. Like there's some boundaries at some point. You know what I mean?
I mean I get it. I feel like there's no right or wrong answer, right? I
Yeah,
don't feel like Peter Dinklage was wrong in what he said, but there was also consequences to what he said. It's kind of like you asked me not too long ago. You was like, "What do you feel? How do you feel about Idris Elba saying that he'd rather be known as a actor and not a black actor?"
right.
And I was like, "Damn, I could really get that, right? Like on one hand, you just want to be known as that thing instead of an asterisk. You're that thing, but it's because you're black, or but it's because you're Hispanic, but it's because you're,
Right.
whatever. You just want to be
So
known
we need to
as
get
that
it. So
thing.
there needs to be more people who are good actors who are little. It's really what it comes down to. It. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. Or we just need to.
Well, no, they capitalize on the characters of themselves, right? Like it's the funny moment of the movie. It's the whole
But you
point,
can
right?
argue the only reason we know Peter Dinklage's name for the most part is because of Game of Thrones, because he was casted as a little person, as opposed to like X-Men Days of Future Past, where he played a character that wasn't necessarily a little person. It was just a person, you know. He played Trask. I think it was Trask. But he played the main villain in that movie. But his role in Game of Thrones was as the half man, the
But we
little.
know, yeah, but we know it's you get typecasted for that though. Who's the
Yeah,
guy
that's
who was
true.
in Goldmember? Austin Powers. Who? What was his name? He played.
Troy
Yeah,
something.
but you get what I'm saying, right? He was only
Yeah,
used for like funny moments after that. You know what I mean?
that's true. I mean, it's hard. Like for example, I know you're Jewish, so you wouldn't make a Christmas movie. But what if you were producing a Christmas
I'll
movie?
make a Christmas movie. I don't care. Like I watch. I
Like,
do
what
Christmas.
would you do? Would you hire little people as elves? Would you
Oh,
do CGI? Look at Snow White. They were trying to be politically correct for the Disney
I
movie.
would never be politically correct. I would do what's like easiest. Like, do I have an ample amount of time to do this?
Well,
Like,
let's say you're the executive producer. You
and
set the
I saw,
timetable.
but everything's ideal where I don't have to do CGI because I have to make a,
A
I
buck.
don't have to make it in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you could always just
Uh,
crunch your CGI artists like most studios do.
I don't know. Is there enough little people for me to hire?
Yeah, they have like a whole.
All right, I'll do
Um,
that.
you would
I would.
hire little people.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, you know why I say that? Because what the Lord of the Rings, like what Peter Jackson had to do for the Hobbits,
Oh
was
shit.
insane,
Yeah, man.
and I'd rather not do that.
You're talking
Personally,
about Wait, are you talking about the original Lord of the Rings or the Hobbits?
original Lord of the Rings, what they had to do with the
Oh
editing
yeah.
and the camera
Yes.
manipulation was just,
Using
dude,
little
that's a lot
people
of
as
work.
doubles and
There's a
manipulating the
reason why those
cameras,
movies
force
took.
perspective.
There's a reason why those movies took years to film. Like that's.
They
I don't
had to
know. I would.
develop the technology while they were shooting it. You know,
I would use both. I would
they
use
would have to
both a little
shoot
CG.
everything like 3 or 4 times, the same
Yeah,
scene over and
yeah.
over.
I would probably do both because I would probably want some people who was an elf, like that would be funny as an elf, I guess.
So you would do
You know what I mean?
CGI, and so
Yeah,
you would do like a Fred Claus thing. Like you would have little people in the background, and then the main elves were played by like known actors.
yeah.
Okay, okay,
Or like
okay.
one guy's a main actor and everyone else is little because I just want to have that guy in there. Like if Brad Pitt was my elf, Ryan Reynolds
Okay.
or something. Ryan Reynolds did a
Ryan
movie
Reynolds as an elf.
recently. Ryan Reynolds was in a Christmas movie where it was like he had to deal with all the ghosts, like in
Oh, with Will Ferrell.
yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
see
pretty
it
good.
though. It was on Apple. Oh, I should have watched it.
How come you guys didn't see that? That's strange. That's a
I didn't.
good one.
I totally forgot about that movie. They advertised it for a little bit, and then you didn't hear about it afterwards, man.
Dude, watch it.
I gotta
Instead of
watch
one of
that
the
movie.
so watch that and Die Hard. Who cares about the Arthur thing?
I don't, but when you're married, you do stuff for your wife.
Well, she does stuff for you, so tell her to change her mind.
But yeah, I totally forgot about that movie, man. You know, I would. Yeah, I gotta watch
So
that.
that's what
But
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch Die Hard. Those are gonna be the two that I watch. What about you? What would you do?
so I don't know. I probably would do Little People because it's more cost effective, right? You just hire people. You don't have to worry about is the CGI good. Because like I'm watching, like I said, I watched the Santa Claus Chronicles where they used CGI creatures to be elves. Like they're like little furry things with tails and pointy ears, which is nice, but it's like you always get that you always get that like, oh, does it look real? Does the CGI good enough? I think they avoided that with those movies by making them look kind of quirky and fun, cartoonish CGI. You know what I'm saying? But I think I would just go. I think first I would do like I'm consulting, right? Excuse me. I would consult like because they have like groups like that represent little people for hiring for parts. You know, Warwick Davis, who's a well-known little person who's played Willow, who's played in Star
Yeah,
Wars movies.
I know who you're talking about.
He has I think he has a company that helps hire little people for jobs. I think I would consult them like, is this an issue or whatever? If not, how many actors can you give me for these roles? You know, because they pointed out. Remember that Snow White movie with Kristen Stewart? They were talking about was like a very like a slap in the face to little people. They had actors digitally shrunk down to play dwarfs, and so
Really?
yeah, you don't remember that Kristen
No,
Stewart Snow White
the
movie?
only like Snow White thing I've heard is just about the recent one, which I don't think is going
Yeah,
to
there
get
was.
released, dude, because Richard Zegler put too much heat on Disney, and Disney's already in enough bad enough position.
Did you see her trying to come
Yes,
back? Some
yes.
interviews.
Guess
They
what?
did.
It's too
Disney's
late.
not dumb. Disney's not dumb. They paired her up with Halle Bailey for an interview. Because remember, Halle, they tried to be like, "Aren't we the same?" You know, we had hiring controversies. Like, no, 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 no. You guys are not the same. Halle Bailey was cast as Ariel, and there was a controversy because she's black, but she won over the audience because she's just a very charming person in all her interviews. It was like, all right, cool. Rachel Zegler, there
She
was a
said something
little bit of
stupid.
controversy. There was a little bit of controversy because she's Hispanic, right, or something like that.
Something.
And then she opened her mouth, and people didn't care what she was. They was like, listen to what she's saying. She's crazy. She's disrespectful. She doesn't care what
Nigel,
she's like.
there's a word for this. It's a man hater.
Well, it's even more than that. Some of the stuff she said, it's like,
I know.
whoa,
I
like
know.
what? Like you're talking about a whole generation from back. Wow. But
That's why you
now they're
stay
trying
single till you're 40 and you're alone.
to.
Serious. I'm serious, dude. That's
I
why they
mean,
say
she's
that
not
way,
having a
man.
good track record with what was she in Shazam: Fury of the God? She was in
Ugh.
the Hunger Games prequel. None of her movies were really hitting, man. So whatever. But they were Disney was really smart pairing them up for an interview and trying to be like, oh, we're the same. Da, da, da.
Nah,
Trying
man.
to use
She's
Halle
radioactive
Bailey's
right now.
yeah, trying to use Halle Bailey's charming self to undercut what Zegler was saying. And Zegler, if you listen to her talk now, is clearly being coached on what and what not to say. All right. It seems very PR
Her
ish
and
how
Amber
she
Heard need
talks
to be in
now.
a movie.
Whew.
You want to talk about
Wow.
radioactivity? I would see it just to see the toxicity of it.
Dear Lord, what would it even be about? Oh my gosh. Oh,
Just
that would be
hating
a
on
movie for
men.
the ages. Oh my dear Lord, man. Oh. Well, any other Christmas movies or holiday
Yeah.
movies?
Santa Claus with Tim Allen, dude. Come on.
Oh, classic.
Dude. Dude.
Me and my wife already watched them.
Oh yeah,
All three of them.
you know what's funny? Yeah, we watched them was it last month or something right after Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was yeah, man. Can't go wrong with movies like that. I like Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, that's the movie I gotta have my wife
John
watch.
Favreau and Robert Duvall's in it.
John Favreau needs to act more, man. I love when he acts. he's, he's
Bro,
either
did you know?
funny
I
or he
didn't know
just
he
goes
did.
straight.
I didn't know he did Elf.
Yeah, he did Elf.
I
You
had
didn't
no
know that?
idea. No, I
Yeah,
had no idea. Zero,
bro. John
zero,
Favreau's the man,
bro.
bro.
He
He did Elf,
he
and
he's
Did you watch behind the scenes of Elf? Well, you probably didn't because you didn't know he directed it, but it was his idea to do the forced perspective instead of CGI to make Will Ferrell bigger. They just did the forced perspective like they did in Lord of the Rings, and it
I
was
just got a
very creative how
text.
they did that.
Just Friends.
Yes.
I've never seen it. Maybe I have, and I was just paying attention.
What? Amy Smart and Ryan Reynolds,
Oh, I've seen it.
bro.
I've seen it.
Oh,
Yes,
you
yes,
see?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. What's that movie where Ryan
Hilarious.
Reynolds is the assistant to Sandra Bullock and they get married?
The Proposal.
The
Love
Proposal.
that movie
Okay,
too. Love that movie too.
okay, okay.
But
All
it
right,
reminds me of Just Friends too. But Just Friends is so funny because it's just
bro.
like zany and
I gotta
and it's a
find out that.
Christmas movie.
Hold on, I gotta find out. Yeah, it's because Heather just texted me this. Ryan Reynolds Christmas movie, the one on Apple TV. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably
Spirited.
like a Christmas Carol or something. Oh, Spirited. Okay. Yeah, I gotta put that on the list.
Yeah, put that on the list. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to watch Just Friends just for me to remember
Oh,
this.
hilarious! I gotta watch it, and it's a movie that's so hard to find. And I meant to
Not
buy
for
it
me.
on Blu-ray. I forgot to buy it on Blu-ray again,
My
but it's so hard to find on
my
streaming.
my my nefarious ways of streaming get
Oh
me
yeah,
everything I want.
mum's the word, But yeah, man,
Igor is very happy with the service he provides for me.
I got a question for you. As a
Mm.
Jewish man, you are a Jewish man. Why aren't there any Jewish movies?
Because no, who cares about him?
You know what's crazy too?
I say that as a joke, but
I know,
no,
but
seriously, like just think about it. Like, so here's why, right? Like, non-Jews commercialized Hanukkah because Hanukkah is probably like the least consequential Jewish holiday of the year. Everyone says Happy Hanukkah, and it's like, okay, thanks, but who cares? Because all the other ones are more important. I'm serious. It's not even a
I
high holiday.
mean,
Like you
he's
have
not lying.
you have precedents of you have high holidays, which are the more important ones, right? No one
Mhm.
even says a word about any of those, but it's always Hanukkah because it's around Christmas, and people just put them together. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, but
that's why people, because Hanukkah exists around the same time that Christmas does, people have just changed it to Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas.
I would put Passion of the Christ as a Christmas movie if that's the case. Like
Oh my Lord. No. No. No.
uh, but that's why. Like, how are you going to make a quirky movie about Hanukkah? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to kiss near the menorah?
They did that in Eight Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler. I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's the only one. Give me another one.
I don't know. You know what's crazy
Exactly.
too?
Mm.
Um, in school, I learned about, because I went to film school. I learned about how um, all these songs that we sing, all these Christmas songs, even all
Mm-hmm.
these patriotic songs, but we're talking about Christmas. All these Christmas songs were written and made from Jewish composers
Yeah, you're welcome.
who came to America
Mm-hmm.
and and in trying to assimilate, they
Yep.
made all the patriotic songs that we sing about America, and they made all the Christmas songs that we sing.
Newsflash: I forget. I hate to tell this to you and burst everyone's bubble, but most people who immigrated from Europe or other places, Jewish, had to conform to Western ideologies and convert to Christianity or something because they were hated here too. So,
Yeah, that's why they
i.e.,
changed their names
my
and stuff
family had
like
to
that.
do that, right? So that was the main
Yeah.
reason why when they came over from Russia, that's exactly why, right? I only identify as it because I married into a Jewish family, so I kind of use my ethnic background and kind of conform to that. But we celebrate both things, right? But no, that's just how it is, man. Like, that's why that's why you see a lot of that's why I see a lot of traditional Jews who are kind of apprehensive towards Christmas because of that. You're like, we were forced to like conform. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah,
just my two
man.
cents.
I just always thought it was interesting that aside from the patriotic stuff,
Mm-hmm.
what we celebrate as Christmas was really formed through
Yeah.
Jewish eyes and Jewish creativity. And I always thought that was like, yo, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't they do that to for their own like traditions and stuff like that? And then you learn, the nuances, like you just said, how they had to conform and stuff like that.
It
But
was the
now
easiest way to do
times
it.
like now, I'm like, this is America's 2023. Can we have a successful Jewish movie? Like for instance, you know
Not
how
right now. You
every
can't.
well, yeah, I mean, but
We're getting hunted. It's like almost being like a vampire right now. You walk out and people are looking at you like, "Hey, what's going on?"
I mean, but
you know
like
what?
how these studios will have these corny ass holiday movies like Valentine's Day, Jack Black is falling in love with such and such, or like they'll have what's the other movie like Martha's King? Oh no, that was a skit on not
Dude, it's
SNL.
like Hallmark satirical. It's like a whole other thing. Oh, I forgot another good holiday movie. It's called The Holiday with Jack Black,
Yeah, I've seen
Cameron
that.
Diaz, Kate
That's
Winslet,
what I was
and
referring to, but I said the wrong name. I said the Valentine's Day movie. That one's with Jamie Foxx and all. But
but him and Cameron Diaz work for a film company, and they do trailers, and that was one of the trailers was a rom com thing or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember that movie, which was actually a surprisingly charming movie. I saw it
It
by
is,
accident one year,
but
and I was like,
why
"Oh,
don't
okay,
we
that's
have?
great."
How come we don't have holiday rom coms anymore? It doesn't exist.
I don't know. There's a lot of black rom com Christmas movies, but I don't really see any like
Well,
mainstream.
it's because I think the traditional view of what a relationship is changed too. So people are like, who cares? Like I'm
Yeah, I
serious. Like
know.
that has something to do with it. It's like, oh, fine. We've seen Kate Winslet already kiss this guy before. It's time for
We've
something
already
new.
seen this very hot woman kissing this schlubby guy who who would never.
Now it's time for two hot guys or two hot girls to kiss or something. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. That's so true. We gotta flip the script
No,
for
but
this
do you
very
think it gets?
religious holiday. We're flipping the script.
Yeah, completely forgetting why Christmas is a thing anyway. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot.
Would Jesus like this or not?
Oh
Let's ask Father Abraham. But anyway,
man, that's probably not going to change though, man. Like I think holiday movies like that are gone.
I know, man. They don't make them like they used to. I mean, the Santa Claus Chronicles are dope, but they're mainly kids' Christmas movies.
That's a
No, but I
different thing.
like them. I like Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. I think it works. But because he's like a Santa Claus with style. I like it, man. I like
I like
he's a
Kurt
cool
Russell
dude.
as a monster hunter in the Monarch show. Like he's doing
Still
good,
haven't seen
man.
it. Still haven't seen it, but
What?
I haven't seen it, man. Bro, I just finished 2 shows this week, and I'm proud of myself that I finished 2 shows. Finished Gen V, and damn, I can't even remember
That's on my
Bass
list.
Reeves. Bass Reeves. I finished that. I want to start
Gen V's
Jack
on my
Reacher.
list.
I want to start Jack Reacher, but I'm gonna take this week to watch movies like The Killer and stuff like that. There's a lot of good movies to watch on Netflix, so I'm gonna watch a bunch of movies on Netflix this week, and then after that, I'm gonna start watching a show. Probably Jack Reacher, but yeah,
Jack
yeah,
Reacher.
yeah, yeah. I like it. Jack Reacher's like it reminds me of like old '80s action movies
Well,
where
yeah,
the big
because the
dude just
writer
being a
of the
big dude.
books, when Tom Cruise was casted, he was like, if Tom Cruise is casted in another one of these movies again, I'll just take my shit to streaming or something. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, like Lee Childs, and he did though. Lee
He did. Took
Childs,
it to Amazon. He's like, I'll just have a rip guy who's 6'5" who will play him. That's the whole point.
and I do like those Tom Cruise movies, but the show is more in vain of what he wanted because he was going through a bad divorce and stuff like that. He said he felt powerless, the writer, and so he wrote these books, to be like, oh, Jack Reacher, he's the everyman. He's a big guy. He can get any woman he wants. It was a way of getting out of depression to write these books,
It's to
and people
capture
actually like
himself
these
again.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was emotionally honest, and he's profiting off. That should be a lesson to everybody. With that being said, let's get some Hanukkah movies, man. Be emotionally honest, people out there. We need some Hanukkah movies, man. Because I didn't know Hanukkah was a thing until 8 Crazy Nights. I didn't know that.
You can watch the Rugrats movie and it'll explain to you about the Maccababies.
That's true.
What a Maccababy's got to do is what a
Oh my God.
Maccababy's got to do.
Oh my
Explaining you
gosh.
the whole story. It's a Cliff Notes version. It's like the Prince of Egypt version of Hanukkah and how like who cares about it, but
But my Nomads, this was another good one. I hope you learned something. And if you didn't, oh well. But watch some holiday movies, man. What's your favorite holiday movie? Let us know. Peace. Be creative.